I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to the special Pistons season preview on the Michigan Sports Truth podcast. And tonight we have special guest Dashon Blount from PistonPowered helping us preview the Detroit Pistons season. You can follow him on X, formerly Twitter, at Mr. Black Platinum. So, before we preview the entire season, the first three games have gone in the can. Their season opener against the Miami Heat, it was a turnover fest, but the Pistons kept it close, but lost 103 to 102 at South Beach to the Heat. But then the Pistons went on a two-game winning streak, a tear. They went into Spectrum Center and beat the Charlotte Hornets 111 to 99. 13 rebounds for Asar Thompson. And then the way I saw him play defense, that pocket pick to seal the deal ahead to Jalen Duren for the dunk in that 118 to 102 win over the Chicago Bulls in their home opener. Of course, you were there. That was the dagger. But the way Asar Thompson plays defense, my goodness. That's one of the things that stood out to us, right?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. Obviously, we seen it in Summer League. We also seen the defense in preseason, and it's definitely carried over into the regular season. He started that first night down there in South Beach against Miami with 5 blocks, franchise record. That's crazy in a debut. I mean, you look around, he's one of the only guards to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's an amazing feat in itself. He plays defense. Obviously, he's bringing it every night. He's guarding the best player, and he's really helping out Cade and the rest of the team with that defensive onus and on their side of the ball.
He is. And Jalen Duren keeps getting double-doubles, by the way. So he's another valuable asset to this Pistons team. And Cade Cunningham has stayed healthy through the first 3 games as well.
And he's looking good, really distributing the basketball at a high level, picking his spots offensively, and his efficiency is showing.
Yeah, 30 points in Miami, 25, I think, last night at home against the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and that crowd was electrifying, man. It was wild in there last night. It was a great home opener, and it was even better to get the W, man, in exciting fashion.
Yeah, it was. So, let's go ahead and get that 5 questions segment done and over with. At least I haven't done this in a long time, and neither has Ed. He's going to miss out on this one. So, question number 1. Due to how his career has started and the expectations that came with it, is it fair or unfair to be skeptical of Cade Cunningham developing this year and the way he stays healthy?
I mean, with the number 1 pick, it's going to come with a lot of responsibility. It's going to come with a certain amount of expectations. So criticism and being skeptical is something that I think he actually that's something that drives him. But so, yeah, I do feel that's something that's fair. But as far as some of the unfair criticism, I think it kind of gets overboard when people consider him a bust or something of that nature.
Oh.
He's a good player. I mean, he's showing.
He's great, not just good, but great.
I mean, he's taking steps in the direction to where I could see him being a possible all-star this year. The way he's playing right now, and I expect it to grow with his role and as the team gels under the new Monty Williams scheme.
Yeah. And speaking of Monty Williams, let me edit this banner here. Question number 2. What has been the difference or differences in seeing how new head coach Monty Williams, aforementioned, is operating the program compared to how it was under Dwayne Casey through last season?
I think first and foremost, I'll say accountability. He's making sure guys are earning their position on the floor. He's making sure that guys are first and foremost hanging their hat on that defensive end, and then allow the offense to kind of come. Defense is something you can kind of control every night. If you become a good defensive team, the shot might not be falling, but defense is always there. I think that's something that he's kind of instilled on this team that we're seeing over the first 3 games. And another thing is the more fluid of the offense. It seems like the ball in these first 3 games of the regular season, it seems like the ball is moving a little bit better than what we were seeing last year and in prior years under Casey.
Yeah. Accountability is the key word here. Offense does get you points, but defense gets the rest of the job done, like everybody says in sports.
Yes, sir.
Question number 3. When players such as Bojan Bogdanovic and Monty Morris return from injury, they're out for like 3 or 4 weeks. Bojan,
correct,
out for 4, for example. Who in the starting lineup is more likely to see less minutes and more time to see more time with the backups?
I could see it. Obviously, I think the obvious answer to that would probably be Killian Hayes. I think Ausar Thompson is somebody that they want to grow in that starting lineup. Killian Hayes hasn't really shot the ball too well from the outside. That's going to be something that's going to be key for him staying on the floor past this first 4 weeks of the season when those guys do come back healthy. So if it was one guy I would bet on right now, I'll probably say Killian Hayes. But that could also change with, obviously, we're only 3 games in. That's something that could change if his shot from outside shows some sort of signs of growth.
All right. So, question number 4, this is going to hit it on the head hard. Is there a player on the roster that may be least valuable? I know it's a wait-and-see approach, but even if he was like somewhat valuable, he still might be the least. Or
that's actually a great question, and I would have to probably say at this point right now, I would have to say James Wiseman, unfortunately. I mean, I know it seems like he would have some sort of value, being a former number 2 pick, big fella, 7'2", but he seems like his court awareness isn't where it needs to be. He hasn't got enough reps, and I don't see him having any value this year with this team unless there's significant injury to guys in the front court that would open an opportunity up for him. But the way the roster is constructed, I don't see him getting many minutes unless it's a blowout.
Well, I have to agree with you. Man, James Wiseman was acquired in a trade last year at the trade deadline. And now we see it may not be working out. He has to earn those minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, he had the opportunity in preseason. Monty Williams made it clear in some statements when asked. Him and Bagley was competing for the backup 5 role. Obviously, Bagley has earned the right to that spot, and that kind of left Wiseman as the odd man out. And it's really about his approach, his seriousness about the game, and he has to get better in all facets. He has to embrace the idea of the role, and he has to also play better defense. He seems lost on the defensive end.
Yeah, he does. And Bagley was on fire. So that was last night against the Chicago Bulls. So question number 5, what is the most realistic goal or ceiling for the season for the Pistons in a vacuum, including the win total projection and whether or not they make the NBA playoffs or play-in contention tournament?
No, that's interesting because before the season started, my expectations were a little lower coming out of preseason than where it's at right now after 3 games. I could see this team easily winning at least 30 games I don't know about the play-in situation. It's going to depend on kind of how other teams stack up and what those records look like. But I expect somewhere between 30 to 35 wins easily, and a possibility at a play-in.
All
Definitely.
right. Well, it's an 82 game season. So that was our 5 questions segment. And that's it for the Pistons preview. It's a brief one, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's going to be an exciting season, man. Fans, make sure if you get the opportunity to get down there to LCA, the building was rocking on opening night. Try to get in there. Great side shows with the entertainment and things. So it's an excellent atmosphere this year. The team is looking good. They're back to playing defense. That's Pistons basketball. So if you're a Piston fan, you got a lot to be excited for, man.
Detroit basketball, as John Mason would say.
Yes, sir.
He has said this for over 2 decades now.
Yeah.
He has become famous just for that.
Yeah.
So that has been the Pistons season preview. I'm Taylor Phillips with special guest Dashon Blount from PistonPowered. You can follow him once again on X, formerly Twitter, at Mr. Black Platinum. Also, follow the Michigan Sports Truth podcast on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Michigan_Truth, and like its Facebook page. Subscribe to its YouTube channel at the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Like our videos and turn on all notifications on the bell icon. Follow it and listen to it in audio form on Spreaker. Follow me on X, TikTok, Instagram at DT2Phillips. And subscribe to my YouTube at DT2Phillips. Also on Twitch at DT2Phillips1984. Special shout-outs go to Athletico Physical Therapy on Woodward and Ferndale, the B4 Foundation, Cali Tickets, Creative Embroidery of Cadillac for designing the logo on my long sleeve shirt and t-shirt, Cuts by Melanie in Lake City, Let's Roll With It Rolled Ice Cream in Cadillac, now branded with the Food Mafia. Follow them on Twitter. Follow them on TikTok at the Food Mafia LLC, Northern Star Event Rentals, and United Food Service Solutions of Grand Ledge, Michigan. So for special guest Dashon Blount and on behalf of my co-host Ed Smith, I'm Taylor Phillips. Ed Smith and I will be back on Wednesday night at 10 to discuss Lions, college football, and other stuff, including the Red Wings and Pistons. Until then, this is Taylor Phillips signing off, and remember, we observe and detect the truth about Michigan sports. Stay on the lookout, everyone, and stay aware. Ta-ta.